All right, ladies and gentlemen, got your watch list coming in October 8th, 2019, and the stock market does not know how to react. What makes me say that is the day we had today, and this could set us up for an exciting week, or a boring week. If tomorrow's exciting, that would tell us something to the opposite, but what we saw today is showing a lot of how the market and investors are taking this current trade war and everything going on. So we closed literally just right where we opened. I don't think that's a coincidence. We got some of those negative trade headlines in the morning. Then throughout the day, the market started to melt up. And then right here, we had this crazy pop. And actually before that, let me throw up BABA. Prior to that, that went on along with the market. There was positive Chinese stuff. The Chinese currency strengthened out of nowhere. The markets were up. Nothing happened at the European close. Then BABA came back down. And then all of a sudden, you got a smaller pop on BABA, but a bigger pop on the market when all of the news that we're going to be having the meeting this week and that China says that they're ready to agree. They set a timetable for further trade talks and agree on some of the other stuff. And now this is going to bring up a point, and really the rest of the week, the market is going to be responding to all of this stuff. And it's the type of news that we get, which is going to be important. But now, as far as what deal is going to be made, that is hard to say. People have asked my take on it. I think we're going to get something along the lines where some agreement is going to be made, and then some stuff is still going to be left on the table where they will still have to agree upon it in the future. But some people have also said that Trump has said he's not going to agree to that. So we'll see. But it's very, very interesting. And with this whole whistleblower impeachment thing, that factors into the politics of the situation and which side has leverage and all that. And even then, the data and all that economic stuff. So it's going to be very exciting. But what today has showed us is that it's going to require a lot of patience. The volume was really low. We're bouncing in between really where we first started to come down and in that lower range. So this could set up a very, very big range, and we're going to see what happens. And if that does continue, all of the reminiscence of October and this volatility we were expecting, we're going to start seeing that come back again. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking for coming into tomorrow. I don't have any keys for tomorrow, but I just want to talk about really some of the plays. I really just want to have a basic strategy outline for what we're going to do to set up for this. And again, it's going to be being reactive in the same main point that I brought up yesterday. It is understanding and looking to find out when is the best time to either sell the premium or buy it. So if there is good buying opportunities and we see how things are positioned, it's going to be good. Even today for the premium, I wanted to wait a little bit. We do have the main ones, and that's what I'm going to show you guys. Since we don't have the keys, I'm going to go over some of the specific plays that I was looking into today. I was going to consider two, and even how I would have done an iron condor on the earnings for Domino's, which is tomorrow morning. But it's really keeping a lookout and making sure that the odds are there, but with this kind of monster creeping beneath the surface of what could happen, I want better prices to sell, but it doesn't mean that they're cheap enough to buy yet. So it's very interesting, and this is just all going to require time. So hopefully you guys are ready. Let's get into it. Make sure you guys drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure we see you in the morning. We are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're looking at, what you got in mind for tomorrow, how you're even positioning yourself for the rest of this week. What do you think is going to happen with the trade deal? Let's start sourcing that information and see what people have, because I'm sure everybody has a bunch of different opinions on who's going to agree. Is it going to be a big deal, a small deal? How's Trump going to take it? So I'm excited to see how all this unfolds. I think it's going to be really good, or at least exciting for the most part. But as far as the plays, watch the S&P. I was even thinking of selling condors within that range. That's why tomorrow could be good. Again, if the higher we go, the better, because then this would kind of be a fluke. But if we start testing here within Tuesday or Wednesday and coming back down to these lows, that's going to just really establish a really, really wide range. So it's going to be, I think, confusing and slow, low volume, but watch out for that. Otherwise, McDonald's and Home Depot, these are the two ones that I like, again, in that Domino's, but I like where they're at. The thing I don't like, you can kind of see McDonald's is coming on the downward side, even at 212. I think it has to get higher than 212, and you know that's going to take it to 215 and everything else, or it could go lower. But the thing is, you see how McDonald's is still high. It's not the highest, but it's not the lowest. A lot of stocks look like this, and this is what made it so difficult. Same thing with Home Depot recently. It's not near the high. It's definitely higher than where it was at a few months ago, but it's still not the highest, but it's not the lowest. They're all in this this weird bounce zone off of the top. So that's what we need to keep our eyes out for. I'm watching those, but I like those. As far as the play on there, I was looking at a McDonald's call spread. So depending on if it did go higher than 215, I would hope that if it did have a big rip here, and again, this is the question, is that if it goes higher than 215 or if it can't break 212, this is when I'd want to do the play. I was looking for either selling the 212.50 and buying the 215. You sell that at 214, buy this for 114, you'd make $100. Or if I'm really seeing that it's not breaking up above that and we're seeing the market get a little negative, I like this play right here. So this is one of those higher credit but more risk plays. So again, you're getting a higher credit because it's risky, but sell the 210 in the money, buy the 212. That one's going to yield like a $140, $160 credit, somewhere in between there. And if that's the case, if McDonald's drops pretty much $2 by the end of the week, you get a nice one. And that would be for the weekly side. That's even October 18th. I believe the same thing even applies here on the weekly. And that's the one I would be looking for, the October 11th, not the October 18th. So that's kind of for like a weekly play, and we've been talking about those. I'm looking at those. I'm not in that. That was the first one I was considering today. Then I wanted to look at Domino's. So this is one I ended up not taking the trade. I thought it would be decent because, you know, with everything waiting for the trade war, playing an earnings play could have been actually pretty decent because then it could have been isolated from everything. But I think the outcome of Domino's was it was mixed. It was hard to really say. So they're going to report in the morning. And what I did was part of the strategy I did with the Iron Condors video, if you guys didn't see that, and it's pricing in the option and what the market makers are pricing in. You know, at close, they're pretty much pricing in an $8.70 move on both sides, up or down. So pretty much I was thinking it was going to go to either to 250 on the high side or 232 on the downside, but it seems like a lot more was weighted towards the upside with them. They've had big moves on their earnings higher than $10, which is interesting, but I was going to sell the Iron Condor within here, and what it would be is you'd sell the 252 and the 250 and then sell the 237 and 240. Or I think it was the 240. So that pretty much what it made it was the bottom side was a little lower, so it would say 238, which is only like $5 instead of $8, and then it would have to stay below 253. I think it was like 256 is how he brought it up there, but essentially I want to see how this plays out. We'll see how that is, and here's the best part. If Domino's, after reports, depending on what it moves at, I was expecting Domino's to be one of those companies that would move after hours, so, or even throughout the rest of the week, because this was different than the Costco play that we did last week. That one netted us very good Iron Condor on earnings, but the thing was that expired the next day. This is going to have the rest of the week on there, so depending on how Domino's moves tomorrow, we actually might still be able to make that same exact play after the earnings, and it'll still have a similar earnings potential because the stock is still going to need to move. So watch those. Those are the two specific plays that I'm into. I might even look at the other Home Depot, but again, I already realized I'm already in Home Depot, so we made some money on that one. Remember that old 230? That was a secondary one. I got these debit spreads that we're still holding, but the other plays that I'm really focusing on is that Facebook credit spread that what I rolled over to this week, and then we got the Apple and the Disney's, and the Disney's actually ended up doing pretty good for us, so we actually started making money back on those. Those still have a decent amount of credit, so depending on how Disney holds up, this could also be one of those plays. So we've lost on it the last few weeks. It was a little bit down, so if Disney kind of comes back to normal, this one actually might be a little bit decent here. So I want to see how it holds this 130, 131 level, and depending for the rest of the week and what this shows with everything else, this could be a good one as well to watch. Then lastly, like we said, Facebook and Apple, these are going to be important. Even Apple today was a real just absolute beast. Even if the market closed down, they only closed down 0.25%, but at one point they were up 1%. Watch where they're going to going, and now even with Facebook and Apple, Facebook ended up not doing as good, but watch them because usually they might switch off. You know, NASDAQ has been doing that lately with who's going to be the lagger and leader on each day. So keep that in mind and watch those. Next is going to be SLV and commodities. I'd say gold comes into this, but watch all these companies in general, or the commodities and how they move. And especially now, again, we've been bringing this up, TLT and Bank of America, and you could see now, surprisingly, they look a little bit weird. You know, the banks look like the S&P, but then if you look at TLT, you see besides the little mini jump up from the trade war stuff, they look the same. And this is what I'm saying, watch out for, because you're getting TLT moving in the same direction as the banks, and then you're seeing SLV. A lot of people even commented that was a pretty interesting move for the commodity. So SLV is the lagger I'm looking for as far as banks and bonds are concerned, so keep your eye out for them. I like those a lot. And then back on the other side, watch Anthem. It's staying in this range, and again, if it doesn't break out, remember, we got both the puts and the call spreads that we've done. I think I might just sell. I have a Ghetto Iron Condor on it. I think I might sell another one on here, or at the very least, just watch how these move in general. Again, healthcare and how it moves at these times of volatility, it could be very telling. So watch out for them. Then on the other side, watch Roku. They were interesting this morning. They were actually up at like 110 this morning and then came right back down, and it's still kind of near that danger zone at 100. I think they're going to be interesting. If they start to move kind of like they did, it could just be one of those quicker flips. So I'm going to keep my eye out for that. And then NVIDIA, they killed it today. They got upgraded this morning. They still closed up 1.5%, but they were really, really high. Again, you could kind of see it came back down. It would have been beneficial to sell in the direction, but what it was really reminding me of was Intel and how these chip makers move. And even coming into the whole trade deal and stuff, the chip makers might be good. So I really like Intel just with how it can move on both sides, whether it be selling premium or buying premium. We just kind of have to determine what it's going to do. So I like that. Well, again, watch silver in the banks. Then watch the Asian stocks. Watch Alibaba. I think they're going to be very important, and the moves they've been making has just been absolutely crazy, especially when we put it into context the last few days. It's operating a little bit different. Even watch the yuan and everything else, but it's interesting to see kind of how they're moving, especially if you even compare it here to the S&P. It looks almost exactly the same, but it feels like they were just doing it at different times if you guys have been watching day by day. So keep your eye out for that. Watch Alibaba. We like that. Like Beyond too, but I really want to look at Microsoft. I just had Beyond on that list, but watch Microsoft. I was even considering them as a close runner-up for an Iron Condor to see this week. Again, and that's my worry with this week is selling premium on anything, just because it's like even if we take some of the higher risk non-mover ones, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be good trades, because just right around the corner, any sort of news could just bring back that volatility, and we're coming right off that. So you got to be careful. But watch Microsoft too for, again, if the market starts to go down, they'll be a good short candidate. If they break out of the range, or if they start going up, they'll be a good one that'll definitely lean. And MyGen, I actually really, really like these. You guys remember we brought these back up. I forgot what they have coming up here a few weeks ago. There was something. They're holding this price. This is a very crucial point, and the fact that they had a positive drug report, and even though they came down after this in the earnings, them holding up a value like this and consistently and being in the pharma space, I think that's important. So watch that. And then lastly, like we said, the Chinese stocks, Baidu. Again, that's the other one to keep in mind. We're still holding that 95, which expires next week. So that's going to be interesting, but it's definitely gotten cheaper than where it was. But that's a contract that's been going back and forth, getting expensive, cheap. So I don't know if you guys are into that. You could take a look at that. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys drop your watch list, or subscribe, like, stay hydrated, healthy, ready to go. I'll see you guys in the morning. Take it easy. Get ready for some patience, and get ready for things to just pop off out of nowhere. This is the week we're in, so the market is going to make some men out of you guys this week. I think it's really going to play some mind games. So I guess I hope you guys are ready, man. You haven't seen the Joker yet till you see some of these jukes and pump fakes and the market laughing. You're going to be really. I'll just leave it with that, baby. Let's go.